Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा, श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीला गुरुदेव की जय। All glories to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Chinmayi Vrajapriya Devi Dasi from Charlotte, welcoming each one of you to our Bhakti Sanga mid-morning session. I thank each one of you for joining, and thank you Preeti Vilasini Mataji for that beautiful recitation of the 10th chapter. Thank you so much, Mataji. May I know who all have joined today's call so that we can greet each one of you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanva Pranam, glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirtida Sadridasi.
Hare Krishna, Kirtida Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for joining today. And thank you for all your services. Thank you for your wonderful classes, wonderful instructive classes. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for your warm welcoming. Hare Krishna. This is Preeti Vilasini Devidasi from Atlanta. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasini Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for all your glorious services. Thank you for your classes. Thank you for everything, Mataji. And welcome, Mataji, for today's class. Hare Krishna.
Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for all your glorious services. And thank you, Mataji, for joining today's call. Welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranams. This is Kiran Goyal from Baltimore. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, and all glories to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Mataji, I talked over you. Hare Krishna.
No problem.
Hare Krishna, Kiran Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for joining all our classes, and thank you for being a part of Bhakti Sangha. Welcome, Mataji, for today's session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
This is
Mataji.
Sarvapalika.
Oh, Saraswati Mataji, no, please, you go ahead.
Hare Krishna, this is Sarvapalika Sachi Devi Dasi from Coimbatore. Please accept my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Srila Gurudev. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Sarvapalika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining all the way from Coimbatore. It is late in the night for you. And welcome, Mataji. Welcome to our Bhakti Sangha. And thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sumi from, oh yeah, usually I say from Chennai, India. Now it's from Srirangam, Tiruchirappalli. I'm here. And thank God I got internet connection. And all glories
to Srila Prabhupada. Dandot pranams to you. Dandot pranams to all devotees in this call. So nice to hear Sarvapalika Sachi Mataji's voice after so many years. I miss you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Miss you too, Mataji. Long time, long time. Nice to be on the call. Haribol.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Sumi Mataji. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome, Mataji. And please pray to that most beautiful Ranganathar from all of us, Mataji. Seek blessings to everybody in Bhakti Sanga from his lordship. Mataji.
Sure, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Chinmay Mataji, Dandot Pranam to you and all Vaishnava, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Vrinda from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for joining, irrespective of where you are, how your health condition is. You keep joining every day and you keep blessing us with your association. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji, it's 11. Can we go ahead, Mataji, or wait for Prabhuji to join? Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to Bhakti Sanga Japa conference call and our mid-morning session. And today we have class on Caitanya Bhaagvat by His Grace Achintya Gopesh Prabhuji. But I will read Srila Prabhupada's quote before the class. The quote for today is very beautiful. It is, "A king is sitting on the throne and there is a bug. The bug and the king, they are on the same throne. But the bug and the king, much difference. Sitting on the same throne does not mean that they have become equal. Why? Due to constitutional position. The bug's constitutional position is to bite only, and the king's position is to rule. Although they are on the same level, the difference is a great gulf of difference. Similarly, God and the living entity may sit down together, may talk together, they lie together, they eat together, but that difference will be there." This was given by, as was said by His Divine Grace at Montreal on June 10th, 1968. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhuji is still not here. So we'll continue to chant and wait for Prabhuji. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare.
We can start, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Achintya Gopesh Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your precious time and joining us to enlighten us on Caitanya Bhaagvat. And today, Prabhuji will be talking on Caitanya Bhaagvata Madhya khanda, 10th chapter from texts 312 to 316. So we are all eagerly waiting, Prabhuji, to hear from you. So please take over, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Just give me 1 minute and then I'll start. Thank you.
Sure, Prabhuji. Please take your time.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So we'll start with Guru Vandana. Om Ajnanatimirānandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Gurave Gaurachandraya. Gurave Gaurachandraya. Radhikaya Tadale. Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Jayatam Suratopango Mamandamatir Gati. Mat Sarvasva Padam Bojo Radha Madarmohi. Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Just give me 30 seconds more. I will just set up the PPT and then start. Hare Krishna. Sorry to keep you waiting. We'll start. So today we are discussing Caitanya Bhaagvata Madhya Lila, 10th chapter, slokas number 312 to 316. And this is the conclusion of Lord's Mahaprakash Lila. And these four wonderful verses we will discuss. So thank you very much for this opportunity. So we'll start from verse number 312. Kahere na kare ninda Krishna Krishna bale Ajaya Chaitanya Sehi Jini Beka Hele. One who chants the name of Krishna without blaspheming anyone will easily conquer the unconquerable Lord. So, this is actually the proper, this is one of the main conclusions of the Mahaprakash Lila. So, we'll also read the purport and then we will discuss. So, here you can see, get to sloka number 312. So one who chants the names of Krishna without blaspheming anyone will easily conquer the unconquerable Lord. Sri Chaitanya Deva is unattainable through the material knowledge of proud, bewildered living entities. One who constantly chants the name of Krishna without offending others can easily control the unconquerable Sri Chaitanya Deva with his love. So, and then we'll read further. But first, just to discuss this particular aspect. In the Mahaprakash Lila, there are various aspects of devotional service which have been highlighted. And we can have many conclusions of the Mahaprakash Lila. We have, over the period of many classes, many devotees have discussed. We have seen different things, right from the place of how different people in Navadipa who were following other processes were criticizing what was happening in Shiva Sangha. They were saying that in the night, these people are trying to make some loud sound, and these are actually, very abominable people. They were criticizing. From there to how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then in one of the 21 hours reveals himself and makes Dukhi Sukhi. And we saw numerous pastimes with Nityanand Prabhu, with Advaita Acharya, with Murari Gupta, with Mukunda Datta, and each one highlighting a different aspect. Right? For example, with Mukunda Datta, he was talking about how he unfortunately associated with the Mayavadis and spoke from the Yoga Vashisht and how the Lord rejected him. And he was continuously lamenting that I did not appreciate Lord's devotional service. And with Murari Gupta, he shared a completely different pastime of revealing to him and benedicting him with the most confidential love. But if you see all these pastimes, there was one essential thing which really distinguished them from the other people in Navadip. If you look at other people in Navadip who could not enter Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, and we also know of the Brahmana who was only drinking milk, and even he was not offered entry apart from the few seconds because of Srivas Thakur's mercy. But these people got entrance into the entire nocturnal Sankirtan, which is like Ras Leela. And they also got the Mahaprakash Lila, where each of their intimate desires were fulfilled. We discussed about Advaita Acharya, how as Lord Shiva, he had his desires to be chastised by the Lord, how he wanted to counter the Mayavada that he himself preached, and all of those were very wonderfully in the pastimes ahead. Successfully, the desires were benedicted. So very few people got entry into the nocturnal pastimes, and that too in the Mahaprakash Lila, few devotees were called in. But and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually came to give this process to everybody. But only few people got the Mahaprakash Lila revelations and benedictions. And there are many people outside who could not even enter. So what was the qualification of all of these people? If you really look at it, some of them were Grahasthas, like Sridhara, Kolavich Sridhara, or some of them were very poor, like Kolavich Sridhara. Some of them were Grahasthas, Srivas Thakur. Some of them were Avadhutas, like Nityanand Prabhu, very great, renowned Brahmana personalities like Advaita Acharya. And some were, very different personalities. But despite their lack of money or excess of money, despite their knowledge and qualifications, few of them got the mercy, and many others were not getting into the Mahaprakash Lila. So, what could be the common factor? What is that which is common between all of these people, that they could conquer Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and get his mercy? Right? We always start discussions with some questions. And then we also say that nothing is a right or wrong answer we churn. So if somebody can, some of you can try and answer this. and share your perspectives. What was common in these devotees? What is the common characteristics, or what are the characteristics due to which they were allowed entry into this Mahaprakash Lila? Anybody wants to talk about it?
They were very intimate associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who could understand the Lord and his mood.
Okay, very nice. They were intimate associates of Mahaprabhu, and they were able to understand the mood of the Lord, and hence they were able to. So that is correct. So the question is, what is the mood of the Lord? What is that they were able to understand, and what is that understanding and which or qualification which made them so intimate to the Lord?
They were all non-envious by it.
Yes, they were all non-envious. That's also very nice, very wonderful. They were not envious. Even when Mukunda was rejected, all the devotees were praying, "Why are you not, giving darshan to Mukunda?" Right? They were non-envious. That is correct. Anything else? What else? Of course, they had unlimited qualities, so we can go on speaking. But what? Yeah, please.
Simplicity of heart and love for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
They have simplicity of heart and love for Lord Chaitanya. Very nice. That is nice. Anything else?
Their goal was to give pleasure to the Lord, even at the cost of their own happiness or, at their distress. So they just wanted to give pleasure to the Lord all the time. And
Very
serve.
nice. Very nice. Very nice. In fact, in the lectures on Mahaprakash Lila, some of our acharyas and some of our senior devotees in ISKCON highlight this part which you are saying, that the essential feature that they were wanting nothing for themselves and everything for the service, or in other words, they were completely getting pleasure in serving Lord Chaitanya. They were nothing about Bhoga Vancha or wanting anything, but they were fully in Seva Vancha, wanting to please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees. And this qualification of completely pleasing somebody, completely pleasing the Lord and his devotees, and not wanting anything for yourself. That qualification, how is that qualification developed? How does one come to that state that when you completely want to serve the Lord and his devotees and do not want anything for yourself? The soul by nature is Anandamaya. It wants Anand. It wants pleasure, right? And the soul in the material atmosphere is looking for material pleasure. So how can a conditioned soul who is in the material atmosphere come to this state when it wants to just give pleasure to the Lord and not want anything for himself or soul itself? What is the process by which they come to it? Sorry, yes?
Sadhu Sangha?
Yes, it starts from Sadhu Sangha, yes. And then?
When they reach the stage of bhava or prema, at that time they are fully surrendered.
Yes. The soul essentially wants Ananda, and that Ananda is obtained from the Sachidananda Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the treasure house of Ananda. When the soul comes in touch with the Lord, who is full of pleasure, they are so overwhelmed that they are not desiring any material things to pleasure the mind or the intelligence, but they want to give, and this pleasure comes from love. Love means to give. So they are just giving to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in that way they are connected to the treasure house of Ananda, and they're fully overwhelmed. They don't want anything more but just to give that service and please the senses of the Lord. And in that sense, they understand they are not different from the Lord. They are part and parcels of the Lord. Because when one experiences, when you put gulab jamun in the mouth and your entire body you get taste, nourishment, and everything, then you don't want to hold the gulab jamun in the hand. The moment it comes to the hand, you want to put it to the mouth. Similarly, when by doing devotional service or serving the Lord, they get this unlimited sense of love, then they want to just serve. Then no longer do they want to artificially enjoy the mind and happiness. And that is what is described in the first two lines here. Hence, it is said that, and this connection with the Lord comes for everybody by the chanting of the holy names, which is non-different from Krishna. So one who chants the names of Krishna and can easily conquer the unconquerable Lord Chaitanya, because when he comes, the holy name touches the heart, and then anartha nivritti happens, then nishta, then ruchi. And then ruchi starts to develop, then the mind starts to go in. It no longer is looking for pleasure outside. They're looking for pleasure in. Mama manasa madhukara arpita nijapada pankaja makarande. Like a bumblebee goes into the lotus flower, the mind starts to enter like a swan goes and puts his neck into the lotus flower. The mind starts to enter the lotus-like feet of the Lord, which they are starting to experience and then see. Right? And the mind starts to get drawn towards that ruchi. Then when that drawing becomes unconquerable, it becomes asakti. The difference between bhajana kriya and asakti we have spoken many times. Bhajana kriya, with the chanting, the mind starts going out for material pleasures. But in asakti, even if you are trying to surf Facebook, but your mind will go, suddenly it sees something blue, and your mind will go inside and start remembering the lotus feet of the Lord. So one who chants the name of Krishna, right, can conquer Lord Chaitanya. But between that, there is one thing: without blaspheming anybody. It can happen that when we are chanting, we become proud that we are actually devotees. We are chanting very nicely, and then we start blaspheming. So that chanting is not actually touching the chitta. It becomes a mechanical activities which is called feeding the false ego, saying that I am a very big devotee, I am chanting, I am doing everything. And when you do that, then you cannot get this love. But when you are chanting without offenses, one who constantly chants the names of Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has already said, Trinadapi sunijena taroriva sahishtuna, amanina amanadena kirtaniya sadahari. One can constantly chant only when one doesn't offend and who is Trinadapi, then he can easily get. So what is the secret here? Holy name is coming in. It is touching the chitta, and it is doing anartha nivritti. Right? Unwanted desires are wiped out. But this is tested during various circumstances of life. Sometimes something happens in the office, something happens in the home, something happens in the association of devotees. It is tested. But again, our mind jumps up, false ego comes up, and we again do something offensive. So again, the reaction is generated. There is karma, there is more unwanted desires. And again, the holy name cannot touch the chitta. But once you are following Trinadapi, and in a humble state of the mind, one is chanting and giving respects, there is no way of committing offenses, and these false ego doesn't come up. And then all the residual unwanted desires are wiped out, and then you get to the next stage of Nishta and Ruchi. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadaha. Then you get to na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware, bhavatad bhakti ahetuki. I just want to serve you, ahetuki, without any reasons. Right? And that was one of the common qualities of all these people. That they were continuously only wanting to serve Krishna for serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for his pleasure, not wanting anything for themselves. And that is essentially attained when you don't blaspheme anything. However, the second part of this verse gives even more understanding on the not blaspheming anyone. So the first part of the verse clearly concludes that the Mahaprakash Lila establishes this fact that if you don't blaspheme anybody and you're chanting the holy name of the Lord, then everything is, you can completely control Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You can attain the rarest of gifts of Krishna Prema. The people outside the Srivasangan were constantly criticizing. They were constantly criticizing the devotees, saying that these people are in the night making noise, they are doing something else, they should actually read the Vedas, they should do the yagna. They were following all the processes. Although they were seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are seeing the devotees, they could not get that particular entry, and neither could they get the benedictions in the Mahaprakash Lila. So essentially, one part of the conclusion which you are taking is that just by chanting the holy name and not blaspheming anything, we can enter and probably get the similar mercy to what all these people have received. And hence they have clearly established, and Mukund specifically said this, that without glorifying devotional service and chanting the holy name, I went and heard Yoga Vashisht, this, that, and everything else. And in that way, I have offended you, my Lord. Clearly giving us this path. But we are going to go one level deeper, where it says something else on, we all know about not being offensive to devotees and others. But when we are chanting the holy name, there is something else that could happen. That also we are going to come. And in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14.3, it is stated, Jnane prayasam mudapasya namanta yeva jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadiya vartam sthane sthita shutigatam tanva manobir ye prayaso ajito jito api asitais trilokyam. This, is one of the oft-quoted verses. The even last part of Ajito Jito Api is something Srila Prabhupada used to quote. Ajito, the Lord is unconquerable, but even then he can be conquered. Those who, even while remaining situated in their established social positions, throw away the process of speculative knowledge, and with their body, minds, and words, body, words, and mind, offer all respects to the descriptions of your personality and activities, dedicating their lives to these narrations, which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotees, certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. Now, why is that in this verse, while this verse was clearly talking about glorifying the holy name, and this verse was talking about not being offensive to anyone, blaspheming anyone, the purport is quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.3, and it is clearly talking about Jnane prayasam udapasya namanta yeva. Why is that it is talking about sthane sthita sutigana tanva manobir? Why should you be situated in the position you are and still go on chanting and glorifying and really describing somewhat unrelated topic, which is about staying where you are, whether you are a grahastha or otherwise, chanting, glorifying the Lord, hearing about the Lord. It's stressing on something else. What is the connection? Can somebody tell us? Why is this verse particularly being emphasized?
Sorry, Prabhuji, can you ask your question once again?
So the point I was asking is, why is this particular verse, which is actually stressing on saying in the same situation, sthane sthita stutigana tanuva mano. You be in the situation that you are and continue to glorify the Lord, being stressed upon here, whereas the first part is talking about chanting the holy name and not blaspheming anybody. What is the connection?
I understand that when our goal in doing bhakti is pratishtha, love, puja, then we would like to show off and and show that I'm a greater than. So you change from gruhastha to sannyas like that, and you are really not renounced like that. So that's why it's good to be true to yourself, remain where you are, and then without offenses chant Harinam. And Bhagavan Krishna also tells Arjuna, Rasa Vardhana Rasa Apyat from Param Daswanivata. When you get higher taste, then you lose the lower material desires. That's what I understand from this.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. In fact, Pankaj, what you said very nicely. Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj comments on this particular thing and very nicely states that sometimes this is another sort of pride which leads to blasphemy. When somebody thinks that I have become a very big bhajananandi and I am doing my bhajan, I am staying solitude, or I am chanting so many rounds, and then because of that pride in his bhajan, in having renounced the world in an immature state, they start to criticize many people. They start to criticize devotees who are working to preach and glorify the Lord. Like it many times, Srila Prabhupada was criticized by some of his other contemporaries that he is actually starting an ashram, he is starting so many things, and hence he is getting caught up in so much management, and so many other criticisms were there. And sometimes people also start criticizing grihasthas and say, look what he is doing, he's still attached to home. And some people then say that this guy is attached to so many followers and they are attached to building temples, but they are not attached to actually glorifying, chanting the holy name and others. So like this, many criticism happens. And here again, like Prabhuji said, Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj emphasizes that it is better to be in one situation and continue to hear from and associate with the Lord's devotees, glorify, hear the pastimes, and by hearing the pastimes, you will completely be aloof to the material world, and you will be completely internally meditating and meditating on and deriving pleasure from the pastimes of the Lord. And in that state, you see what is that the Lord wants, and you spread the same thing to other people and preach. If you do that, you are in a much better situation than artificially renouncing chanting and becoming proud. So Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj emphasizes this point and says that hence to be in the natural position that you are being and being humble and continuing to associate is a better way of doing. And we do see this in a couple of pastimes when the Lord exhibited the very same thing. In the Kurma Brahmana's pastime, when Mahaprabhu visited the Kurma Brahmana was so enamored and taken up by the darshan of the Lord. He invited him to his house for taking prasadam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took prasadam there. Kurma Brahmana washed his feet, garlanded him, gave him prasad. But by serving the Lord, he was so much attracted to the Lord, because Lord is all attractive, is Krishna. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is golden form, combined form of Radha and Krishna, so attractive. He was so attracted that Kurma Brahmana said, now I don't want to leave in my house. I am renouncing my house, I am renouncing everything, and I want to just follow you and accompany you everywhere. But what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? No, sthane sthita sutikana tanur manobir. You be here. You better not do this markat vairagya and false renunciation. You be here. You hear about the glories of the name, fame, and pastimes. You preach and you take the role of the acharya, and thereby bring more souls back home, back to God. Right? He advised him there to be in his original position. The same thing happened when the wives of the Brahmanas, you know the story when the Brahmanas refused to give Krishna, and Krishna Balram said to the Gopas, you go and ask from the Brahmanas who are doing yagna. The Brahmanas completely ignored them. But when the same Gopas, when instructed by the Lord to go to the wives of the Brahmanas, they went to the wives of the Brahmanas. Wives of the Brahmanas came with all the offerings they offered. And after having that, the Lord said that you can go back to your home. And when the wives of the Brahmanas said that, no, Lord, we have seen you. After having seen, why are you sending us back into material life, into the Grahastha life? Right? After having seen you, we just want to follow you. Right? And anyway, our husbands are not going to allow us to come back. So we just want to be with you and follow you. And then Krishna said something very important. Very important instruction he gave. Who can remember what was the instruction he gave to the wives of the Brahmanas? What was the instruction?
That you go back and serve your husband.
Yes, that part he said, yes. But he said something before that as to why you should go back and serve the husband. He said, why can't you go back? The wives of the Brahmanas, we have seen you. Why? What is the necessity for us to go back and do something? We can just follow you.
He said everybody should serve from their own position.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where your
Yeah, he
service.
said that. He said something more, if I remember correctly. I should probably have taken the verse, but if I remember correctly, he said that not by seeing me, not by worshipping me, or not by seeing me, or not by coming behind me or following me physically, not by any of these processes will you attain. None of these processes, right? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then he says that by chanting and by worshipping my deity form, by these methods, you will constantly see me in you.
Correct. Why does he say so? What is he trying to emphasize?
Because Krishna, I don't know, I'm thinking because Krishna is not different from his Vigraha, from his Nama Rupa Guna Lila. So one can definitely connect with Krishna that way. And also at the same time follow the social etiquette and custom that may be required at that moment in time.
Yeah, correct. See, it might be possible even in the Leela, even when you are in Goloka, when the gopis are churning butter in Nandagaon, Krishna has gone. In the afternoon, they are actually facing separation from the Lord. Krishna has gone into the forest, right? And when the Gopas, when Krishna goes to Nandagaon to sleep, they are experiencing separation, right? So even in the Nitya Leela, it is possible, the physical proximity and presence, obviously, that is one of the important things which is also highlighted in the Krishna going to Mathura and the Vira of Gopis. Physical presence might or might not be appreciable, right? But the real connection is actually the connection of love. It is like the father, the father cannot say that because I love my child so much, I will never go out of the house. Because he loves the child, he has to go out, father, mother, whoever, he or she has to go out, purchase something for the child or do the job, get some money, come back. That is because of the love that service is being done. Gopakumar, after having gone through all the stages, so many different Jagannath Puri, from Indraloka, Brahmaloka, we've gone to Vaikunta, we've gone to all the coverings, he's gone to Sadashivloka, come back to Vrindavan, again gone to Vaikunta, Ayodhya, Dwarka, everything. And finally he reaches Goloka, and finally he gets to play with Krishna, and he's going to the pastime places of Krishna, but Radharani calls him and says, you go and preach to that Mathura Brahman, bring him back. And Gopakumar there says that I was slightly sad that I will miss going out with Krishna in the forest today, right? But Radharani's instructions there, so I will go and preach. And that became even more pleasurable an activity to bring the soul back. So we are all trying to do that activity for Radharani because mother's heart is always for the child who's lost. So we are trying to bring back the souls. We are trying to bring ourselves back by that activity also. We are not Nityasiddhas, but we are trying. That one activity is going to be more pleasurable. So physical presence might or might not be appreciable, But if we develop the real connect by, like you said, Nam Rupa Guna Lila, and we can see the Vigraha of Lord in the heart, and in that love you are connected, then you will always be serving. Pandavas, sometimes Krishna was with them in Hastinapur somewhere, in Indraprasth, sometimes he was not, he was back in Dwarka. But they continued to serve because internally Krishna was always with them. And that at a different level, slightly different level, is what Prabhupada was also saying, that when I am serving, my Guru Maharaj is always with me. There is not even a moment I am in separation with my Guru Maharaj. So the actual spiritual presence can be appreciated. And that is also one of the essence of Uddhav Sandesh that we will not get into. That's a completely different and higher topic. But that was one of the training that was given to all the new gopis on how to be, in separation serving the Lord. Right? So here also to the wives of the Brahmana, the real thing being taught is get Krishna and Radharani through the years, get them into the heart in the form of holy name, touch the chitta, and thereby establish a connection. And in that connection, you will get so much love that you would just want to serve and do nothing else. Right? And that is the real way of following. That's what is being emphasized in this verse, where it is said that if you chant the holy name and don't blaspheme, you will conquer. And to do that, just sthane sthita, right? Be in whatever situation. It said your karma bhuvi, bloom where you are planted, many things we say in ISKCON, and associate with the devotees, glorify the Lord. Now, how is this being done? This is exactly why ISKCON, the temples were established. One of the purposes of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada clearly writes that on the 7 purposes that of establishing, that we are trying to make places where with Krishna as the center, everybody can associate. And that place is an ISKCON temple or the ISKCON Sangha near you. And just by associating and reaching, we can completely conquer the Lord. This is the conclusion of one of the conclusions of Mahaprakash Lila. And the others who had a different conclusion. What is that different conclusion? Right? The different conclusion was that by we will do yagna, we have to read Vedas, we have to, do some yoga, or even people, who are there, who are speaking from Srimad Bhagavatam but did not care for the devotees. All of those people were offenders and they were excluded from this initial Mahaprakash Lila. Obviously, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu later did Nagar Sankirtan and he delivered all of them, right? So anybody who has that mentality of blaspheming the devotees and not appreciating this pure devotional service of chanting the holy names of the Lord, he will not get this association. Right? And that is what is said in the next verse. Nindyanaikyya labhya sarva shastra kaye samara samana bhagavata dharma. All the scriptures declare nothing is achieved through blasphemy. Bhagavad Dharma teaches one to offer respects to others. Now, we all know the, I want to highlight a different aspect. We all know blaspheming, the effects of blasphemy, or Vaishnava Aparadh also we know. It is the first offense we always read. And there are many histories which we can go into where blaspheming the devotees, whether it is with respect to Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj, or any so many pastimes, Sugriva offending Lakshmana, there are many pastimes that there are there, which talk about it. But in this particular context, we particularly want to stress on this aspect, that if somebody believes that because he has become Bhajananandi, he is chanting a lot, and he starts offending the people who are Vaishnavas, who are there in their place and serving, and trying to propagate the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then that blasphemy is not going to achieve anything. In fact, he is going to completely fall down. And that's what happened to many people who blasphemed Srila Prabhupada. For example, many people were saying, oh, Prabhupada got caught into this entire mat, mandir and all of that, right? But when he left the body, till last moment, he was translating the Bhagavatam, and he completely showed how, like Arjuna, we have to always be serving the Lord and continue to, please Mahaprabhu, and like that be a soldier on the ground, not just a retire. And His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj also recently showed the same spirit and brought it to another level, that even when you are doing institutional management within ISKCON, or trying to, sometimes we separate institutional ISKCON from actual chanting and serving. But he clearly proved that that meeting of Bureau was also so important that he physically went there. And he used to always, there were so many devotees who glorified him, his personal servant, who said, they said, Maharaj, why do you want to go? And he said, no, what will my other god brothers say? I have to go. He wanted to be in service. And he showed that leaving his body, not in Vrindavan, here, there, every time he used to say this, do you want to go to Vrindavan or do you want to serve in this Vrindavan? Wherever he is establishing a temple. And he showed that mode practically. And if one criticizes those kind of people who are actually in the service of the Lord, and as against some people who have gone to some place and started chanting, then he will completely fall down. I'm not trying to say those who are purely chanting or bhajananandis have to be criticized here either. But this mood of sthane sthita sutigada tanua manovir has to be understood. And following in their footsteps, we are really interested in what did our Guru Maharaj want and how are they serving Srila Prabhupada, and in turn serving Prabhupada is serving the parampara. Is it by building temples? Is it by distributing books? Is it by whatever, translating something? Is it by organizing some festivals or this online preaching? Whatever that is, we have our service in pleasing our Guru Maharaj. And if you see the verses just before this verse, it's about pleasing Nityananda Prabhu or the Guru Tattva. If we are pleasing them, then we are, completely on the path of achieving the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And to do that, we have to chant our rounds, we have to associate with the devotees, we have to go to the local ISKCON temple, ISKCON Sangha, we have to try and serve, all of that we need to. But on the contrary, if somebody blasphemes those people, then they will not achieve the same result. And hence, it is bringing us to another topic. Madhya khanda katayena amrutera khanda mahanimbahena vase yateka pashanda. The topics of Madhya khanda are just like nectar, yet the atheists consider them as bitter as nimba. And if you read the purport here, very nice thing is being shared. So here you will see that in this purport, specifically it has been highlighted that who are the people who will not be, right? In 314, it is what we said, it's not proper to criticize others in order to establish one's supremacy out of falsehood. While disrespecting others, an offender falls down from Bhagavad Dharma. The regulation for offering respects to everyone, including dogs, cows, asses, and dog eaters, has been described by Sri Gaur Sundara in Amanhina Manadin. That's why it is said that this verse is the real crossover verse from we going from Anarthanavati to Nishta and Ruchi, right? And here it is said that topics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's middle pastimes are like nectar, but those foolish persons who consider demigods empowered by the Supreme Lord as equal to the Lord consider this nectar as more bitter than Nimba. So who are the people who consider this more bitter than Nimba? Anyone who is worshipping the demigods or who consider the demigods and Supreme Personality to be an equal level, they find this very bitter like Nimba. Why is that? Why is that they feel this is bitter? What is the problem there? Because the worshippers of demigods, first of all, it is said that those who are not doing devotional service, everybody else has some or the other desire, right? Karma kanda, jnana kanda, vishayarabanda, right? It's all about unwanted desires. So anybody who's worshipping demigods is first of all thinking of demigod as separate from Krishna and being equal to Krishna, and they have some desires that they want to fulfill, and they are hence worshipping them, and it is a connection of false ego. And if you discuss with anybody from the demigod worship, this my Lord, my demigod is the supreme, and hence I am the greatest person who's worshipping. It is big, and they are worshipping that demigod because he's supposed to be the most powerful, most munificent, and hence he can satisfy my desires. And whenever somebody says, "Oh, this demigod is actually subservient to Krishna," they don't like it. They say all gods are the same. You don't try to preach your own thing because you want to establish your temple. Don't preach your things. Everybody is same. That's how they argue. So when they hear that somebody else is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then their entire desires and their wants are all, it turns into envy. It becomes bitter. You say that the grapes are sour, right? If you get the grapes, they're sweet, but if you don't get the grapes, it's sour. And here they will wonder with these pastimes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sitting in the throne, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing the form of Lord Ram, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing the form of this and that. And are we saying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Lord? No, I cannot believe these pastimes are not. These are just concoctions. They don't like to hear these things. They believe a human being is trying to act as if, and they start blaspheming the entire pastimes because their hearts are attached to a particular demigod and the desires that they will fulfill. And it's a connection of their false ego of what they want. If you have a desire, you can only connect on the level of false ego. If you have material desires, you cannot actually connect on pure love. And that is what happens. And that flows forward. Kehayena Sharkaraya Nimba Swadu Paya Taradeva Sarkara Swadu Nahiyayam Yai Mata Chaitanyera Parananda Yasha Sunitena Paya Sukha Hai Deva Vasha. Someone considers the taste of sugar candy to be bitter, that is his misfortune. For sugar candy never loses its sweetness. In the same way, one does not feel happy hearing the blissful glories of Lord Chaitanya only due to misfortune. Due to his own misfortune, a person accepts a sweet object to be bitter. As a result of the unwanted conception that is awakened due to his misfortune, the actual sweet taste is lost. Unfortunate person do not obtain happiness while hearing the transcendently blissful glories of Lord Chaitanya. Now here, we will also try to conclude and focus on very few important practical points that we can probably learn. I can also learn from this entire pastime. That not only so, if you are worshipping some other demigods, you have unwanted desires, then you would certainly feel this to be bitter. And you would see that sometimes, if you remember in the past, or even in the present times, if you're not chanting very well, or you see in the life of a new devotee, some of these getting for us, when I was 25, 27 years back, starting in Krishna consciousness, when our counselor used to say, you should come to Mangalarti and you should chant. So we used to come to Mangalarti and try and run away after that. Then he said, then he increased. Then he said, you should come to Mangalarti, chant 16 rounds in the sitting there. Then, somehow feeling sleepy, then trying to chant, it was very bitter, or it was very irritating. The mind wants to run away, doesn't want to wake up at 4:30 and still then have to chant. Then after the next thing, you should attend Darshanarti also, Guru Puja also. Oh, and then somehow we were trying to get till 7:45 so that you can go and sleep. Then he says Bhagavatam class also. Oh my God. Then trying to hear Bhagavatam, you're feeling drowsy, sleepy. When will it get over? One is not feeling the taste. And why is this not feeling the taste? Because there are anarthas in the heart, unwanted desires, and the mind wants to go, and it has been pumped out because of that unwanted desires. And when we are hearing these sweet pastimes, that is what is our case of jaundice. It feels very bitter to the heart. And that bitterness increases, especially if we blaspheme and we get angry and we think ourselves as great devotees. Then that anartha level increases and it becomes so much that to actually chant 16 rounds in one shot sitting at one place or attending the entire morning program becomes a very, very difficult. And even if somebody starts giving lecture beyond 45 minutes, 1 hour, it becomes even more difficult because we are actually not nourishing the pastimes. And that is our own misfortune, that it is such a sweet object, but we are not relishing it. And that is what is happening to other people in Navadip. They have been so fortunate because of so many lifetimes, trillions and trillions of lifetimes of activities, that they are born at the same time, in the same place, in the same proximity of Lord Chaitanya. They can actually see Lord Chaitanya walking in between them. And all these pastimes are happening in a hut, in a village where they are living. They are living around that place. But it is their unfortunate that they cannot get that taste, because they believe in other processes of karma, jnana, or demigod worship, or Ashtanga yoga and others. And they believe they are great because they are doing that, or they believe that they're great brahmanas or great Vedic scholars or great worshippers or whatever of certain demigod. And hence they blaspheme these devotees as doing some nocturnal, even till about 10-20 years back also. Now I think ISKCON is slightly better known. Many people, even if you go to South India and other places where, many people used to criticize, what is this dancing and jumping and all of this, right? You should just sit in a place, or you should go to the temple, quietly sit and worship the Lord. What is the meaning of dancing and jumping like this? And these boys, girls, everybody is jumping. This is not good. So they used to criticize like that. Right? It is their own misfortune. Now, how can we come out of this misfortune? It's not just those people. So it is possible that we do our sadhana, we do everything, and we are in the association of devotees, similar to the people in Navadip, and we yet end up criticizing some people, and we do that. We say, oh, this person is very management oriented, this person is very this oriented, that oriented. He's only doing service, not chanting. He's generally chanting, not doing service. There are many criticisms we are prone to do. So how do we escape this? How do we come out of this? Right? So it is said that sugarcane juice is the real, solution to jaundice. So this Madhya khanda, which is actually a very wonderful sweet nectar, where the dealings between devotees and the Lord is there, wonderful benedictions are there. It says anybody who listens to the story of Mukunda will actually become a singer like Mukunda. All benedictions are there, but also very important lessons on how we should not blaspheme, how we should not associate with Mayavadi people, how we should not discriminate between devotees for their poor background or lack of literacy, and so on and so forth. Everything is so wonderfully highlighted. And it is concluded that if we chant wherever we are and we associate with the devotees, then this can be completely nullified. So how does this process happen? This process happens in different stages. We are coming, we are chanting, then we come to Mangalarti, then we starting attending morning programs. I always emphasize those are the most important things in ISKCON. If you can attend morning program, it is, my counselor says it is equivalent to living in the temple just by doing the morning program regularly. If you're doing that, then what happens is you start also doing a lot of services. But usually in Grahastha life, we do these services as part-time activities, going in Saturday, going on Sunday, doing some services, and so on and so forth. But as one reaches Anartha-Nivarti, he starts taking responsibility in that service within the temple or within his congregation, within the particular service that his Guru Maharaj is given. He starts taking his responsibility. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj clearly illustrated that, taking up the responsibility of most critical thing, law, cases, fighting. These are not things any devotee wants to get into. But there he took the responsibility of carrying forward Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON and moving forward. If we take that responsibility, and in that responsibility we start becoming less and less self-oriented, or more and more selfless, and more wanting to serve. That taking of responsibility undergoes different trying circumstances when we can just let go of the responsibility, live happily a normal life of just chanting and reading some Bhagavatam and going around. But we continue to, when somebody like Srila Prabhupada took that responsibility, going to the West and preaching, and so many difficulties by going through actually chanting, going through the taking response, chanting, taking response, the anartha nivritti happens. Then that taste develops. And in that taste, when we are continuously serving the Lord, then we reach this stage of just wanting to please the Lord, because just that service, just that difficulty, just those tough times in trying to preach in New York, those tough times in distributing books, or like different our Maharaj, like Jayapata Maharaj is trying to build the TOVP temple, or Gopal Krishna Maharaj is trying to deal with the GBC management and all of that. Just those seemingly non-devotional activities, but done for the pleasure of Lord, it actually becomes so tasteful that one comes to this stage, what these devotees have come to, just thinking about the pleasure of Krishna, pleasure of Prabhupada and ISKCON, and not wanting to think about my individual or family's pleasure. Of course, we maintain the family, of course. And in that sense, they are aloof from the material world, even though they are in the house, because their responsibility is fully towards service of Guru. They are aloof from the family affairs, even though they are in the. And that stage is the stage when one can completely, by his chanting, he becomes non-blasphemous, because he's getting all the pleasure just by serving. And he's not bothered about who's doing what in the temple and what politics is going on in my congregation, who's trying to be the better singer, better arti guy, better management person, temple president. He's not bothered about that. Just bothered about how can I serve. And in that state, one can completely, constantly chant the holy name of the Lord, completely ajito jito piva. He can conquer the unconquerable Lord and get the same mercy, and he will start relishing this Madhya khanda, and all objects of bitterness and other things, jnana, karma, demigod worship will vanish, and he will fully start feeling the kevala ananda khanda. There is jnana khanda, karma khanda, upasana khanda, but kevala ananda khanda is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila. And one will arrive at that stage. And to do that, we have to progress these stages and ultimately starts doing our morning sadhana, serving, and then take responsibility in the service, which will lead to one instruction from Guru, like to Prabhupada said, go to the West and preach. And that instruction itself becomes the key or the rope by which you will go back home, back to God. So here the conclusions of Madhya Lila of Mahaprakash Lila is very clearly given, that be in your place, doesn't matter on what background, just don't blaspheme, take up responsibility in the service, and you will attain the same state as Dukhi became Sukhi, or Mukunda Datta became dear to the Lord. And these Mahaprakash Lila will also, benediction will also come to us. So we will stop here. We already hit the hour. Thank you very much. And thank you for this opportunity to conclude upon the Mahaprakash Lila. And so very grateful to be among all of you. And again, if I've said something and not properly quoted, please forgive my ignorance. And I pray for all of your mercy. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions? Yeah. Good.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this. A very, very beautiful class. It was an eye-opening class for me. How when you said taking responsibilities in the temple or wherever we are in the congregation is actually proportionate to our anartha nivritti kind of. Oh my God, I have so many steps to go. But yes, Prabhu, it really, your class today taught me certain things. I seek your blessings that I act and I continue. I take some responsibilities and I have to follow my Guru's instructions. So that was so beautiful, Prabhu. I learned a lot there. And it was a very beautiful class, Prabhu. Like, in detail, you talked about what exactly blaspheming means. Like, we read every day, we talk about blaspheming devotees when we start the morning class. But yes, today you gave a very beautiful example, like how the taste and chanting will run away, will go away, and how I'll not feel inclined to hear the classes. I'll feel like skipping a part of the program here, there, and going away. So yes, these are some things like with which I can assess myself. So it was a very beautiful class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for spending so much time and explaining it in detail. So very grateful to you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If you have any realizations or questions, please go ahead.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji. Very excellent class. Very nicely learned so much. In the Mahatma of Srimad Bhagavatam, Gokana Maharaj tells his father some of the gist of what you have said today. He says, Dharmam bhajasya satatam yad lokadharma sevas prasadu purusam dehikam susam anyasya gunados chintan masumuktva seva katha raso nitram pibakam. This is kind of gist of what we have talked today.
Yes.
I just remembered and realized like that. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hari.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very wonderful. You summarized very nice. Thank you so much. Yes, Mataji. Yes. Poonam
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanvar Pranam. Prabhuji, I want to know like the difference between Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagvat. I know it's like, little bit Chaitanya Charitamrita, anybody cannot read like that. It's like, very in-depth study of that. But this Bhagvat is a little bit like, easier, like for people to understand. So please little me, like, enlighten me. What exactly
Yeah,
is.
what is it? Okay, I will, without going into all the differences, I think you are right in what you are trying to say, that Chaitanya Bhagavat, it deals with the sweet pastimes. Of course, Chaitanya Charitamrita also has pastimes. It has a lot of philosophy at the start, trying to explain who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and what is his pastimes, what are his mission, mood, a lot of those things. Of course, both are a very epitome of scripture, so I don't want to discriminate between them. But Chaitanya Charitamrita has a lot of philosophy and also has pastimes. Chaitanya Bhagavat is like Bhagavatam, it is a free-flowing pastimes after pastimes of the Lord. There are prayers where the devotees explain philosophy, but these pastimes can be heard, they can be relished, and especially the Madhya khanda, as they are said, if you relish these topics of Madhya khanda, lot of philosophy which otherwise, for example, one who listens Bhagavatam, he might not have read Vedas, he might not have read, but all the conclusion of Vedas, Vedormritam Galitam Phalam, the sweet ripened fruit. Like that, the entire teachings of Lord Chaitanya in ripened pastime form is available in Chaitanya Bhagavat. So yes, you can listen to Chaitanya Bhagavat, though it is recommended that Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam you read before you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, but you can listen to Chaitanya Bhagavat and relish it, and that will certainly help one come out of the anartha and chant better. So the real difference, if you ask me, that this is sweet condensed pastime, even Chaitanya Charitamrita is, but it is very pleasurable to hear Chaitanya Bhagavat and relish these pastimes and thereby learn the teachings of Lord Chaitanya.
Okay. I mean that Chaitanya Charitamrita is like one end. It's better to understand. One can understand better, or it should is recommended to just after Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, not before that, because that has more philosophy in that, right? And
Yes.
that I think has 12 books in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very in depth. Yes, yes. So
Either way, it is better to understand certain basics of who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is even before you hear Chaitanya Bhagavat, because then you will be able to understand that who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and what is his secrets of. So all that is there in the start of the Chaitanya Bhagavat also. But yes, you can relish Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Charitamrita is better you read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and then start reading Chaitanya Charitamrita.
But is as such, Prabhuji, Bhagavatam itself is like, it's going to take a lot of time. 18 books, lot of time to understand and everything. So one can do like side by side? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah. It's very
So,
in-depth, right? Yeah.
You can, for example, hearing these kathas, suppose you are reading Bhagavatam, right? You can read Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, which is a very small book. You can read Krishna book, which is condensed of 10th canto Bhagavatam. You can read these books, you can complete, there's only about, few hundred pages, so you can complete faster. And then when you start Srimad Bhagavatam, you can simultaneously hear these kathas of Chaitanya Bhagavat, hear kathas of Chaitanya Charitamrita. There are many devotees narrating Chaitanya Charitamrita. You can hear that. You can do all of that. Because that will, it's not like you will spend the entire lifetime reading Bhagavatam, then only hear about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You can continue to hear all of this. But when it comes to reading in depth, studying in depth, better to complete Bhagavatam before you start Chaitanya.
Okay.
Yeah. So the best thing is, I understand what you're saying. You're saying, should I wait all that time before I can read Chaitanya Charitamrita? No, you don't have to wait all that time. You can read Bhagavatam, simultaneously read Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, which is condensed Chaitanya Charitamrita, and also listen to all the pastimes and narrations that the devotees are doing. So you don't have to wait. You can do that simultaneously with Bhagavatam.
Right.
But better do Chaitanya Charitamrita after reading of in depth. Better you complete, and it's a continuation. There you will start relishing Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very good.
Anybody else has any other? Yes, Mataji. Chinmay.
Prabhuji, I was just seeing if there are any other.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for such an interesting class. And I really liked how you were analyzing how one may do bhakti depending on the position or place he is in. And you picked up different instances to understand the same, and about how our sadhana is impacted with a lot of offenses, knowingly, unknowingly, however it may happen. So thank you for bringing up these examples and giving us this reminder about how we perform bhakti properly. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very, very nice class. Very grateful for your association on this call. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. I just want to leave behind this, that being aloof from this material world is actually when you are in doing your sadhana and completely serving, focused on what your Guru Maharaj wants. Then you are acting in the spiritual plane, and hence internally you are completely aloof from the material plane. If you remember the previous example we gave of the thief serving the FBI, when he's in that service, he's inside the jail but completely aloof from the jail. That is the state we have to achieve. And that is what this entire Mahaprakash Lila is saying, that you can achieve that by this chanting without blasphemy. That is the conclusion.
Very well. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
There are no more.
Prabhuji?
Yes.
Prabhuji, I can download it like from ISKCON Directory, the Chaitanya Bhaagvata?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Thank you.
Prabhuji,
okay.
Relaxations can we, with your permission, can we end today's session, Prabhuji?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo चैतन्य भागवत की जय, श्रीला वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, गोपेश की जय.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you for your assistance.
Pranam. Thank you very much.
Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.